Recent comments land Carson Hocevar in hot water, and NASCAR to the streets of San Diego may be closer than ever before. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. It has been over a year since NASCAR last raced in Southern California, the nation's second largest media market. But according to a new report from The Athletic, stock car racing may finally have a new Southern California solution. We'll talk about that and much more in just a moment. First, this episode is sponsored by Forney Industries. Forney is a leading name in the world of welding and metalworking and have been around since 1932. Whether you're a welder by trade or a weekend warrior, Forney has the tools to get you through your next project. Their equipment is built to withstand tough conditions and delivers consistent performance. And for automotive enthusiasts, Forney offers a wide range of welding solutions tailored specifically to the demands of automotive creation and repair. So gear up for your next project by heading to forneyind.com. That's forneyind.com. Click the link down in the description to learn more. Thanks to Forney Industries for sponsoring the show. Shoot, should I start with the positive story or the negative story? Though some may consider the positive to also be a negative. I think I have more to say about this one, so we'll start with what I believe to be a very positive story. Jordan Bianchi reporting for The Athletic this morning. NASCAR is near a deal for a Cup Series street course race in the San Diego area. Ooh, this would check several boxes. NASCAR is in the final year of what was originally a 3-year deal with the city of Chicago to run the Chicago street race on 4th of July weekend. And while there is a chance that relationship could continue into 2026 and beyond, I'm not sure that's the vibe I'm getting right now. So assuming the Chicago street race is taken off the schedule after this season, another street race should fill its place, in my opinion. San Diego, with its typically sunny weather, would be awesome. It's a couple hours south of Los Angeles. It covers that Southern California market. Bring the product to the people. All due respect to the late great Auto Club Speedway. The track is like over an hour east of Los Angeles, nestled into an old warehouse district that's only seeing more warehouses pop up now since NASCAR sold that land. Despite literally historic rainfall the past 2 years, Chicago proved that NASCAR's street course concept has legs. The racing is good, the atmosphere electric, weather in San Diego likely to cooperate more than in Chicago, so you can really take full advantage of the festival-like atmosphere. I hope this happens next year, especially with all the questions surrounding Chicago's future. Mexico City is not a done deal. I think it's unlikely that we see Chicago, Mexico, and San Diego on the schedule next season. We'll probably have to pick 2 out of the 3. Trade out Mexico City for San Diego or trade out Chicago for San Diego. I'd be happy with that trade. That way we're not bursting through the dam and replacing another oval with another road course race. It could fill one of the existing road course racing slots. That's what I would like to see, but let me know down in the comment section below if you're intrigued by the idea of a San Diego street course, or if you hope Chicago sticks around, or maybe something completely different. Let me know your ideas down in the comment section below. I'd never been to San Diego before last summer, actually. I went on a trip with my cousin, some of his friends, and I had a really good time. You know, they have a world-class zoo out there, which was cool to check out. The safari park a little further out was neat. The gas lamp district was a good time. It's a big city. It's going to have a lot of the same issues other big cities have, but I really enjoyed my time there. I would love to see NASCAR give that market a shot. Those Southern California fans need a race in that region. Again, it is the second most populated media market in the United States. NASCAR needs to keep a foothold there somehow, some way. San Diego street race may be the ticket. I'll link the full Athletic report down in the description below if you'd like to read more. But now we need to talk about Carson Hocevar. So Carson had a bad weekend in Mexico City. On track, he was involved in several incidents. Most notably, he got into Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and spun him out towards the end. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was not happy afterwards.
I'm going to beat your ass. You're a lap down. You got nothing to do. Why you run right into me?
Yeah, they've got recent history. Stenhouse's frustration is understandable. Quick tangent, I saw Ricky Stenhouse and Kyle Larson were at Dodger Stadium meeting with Los Angeles Dodgers manager Dave Roberts. Apparently, Dave Roberts then got thrown out of the game for arguing with the umpires, which prompted Stenhouse to tweet, "Sometimes you just have to tell him what you're thinking." Taking notes, how he's going to confront Carson next. Anyway, side tangent over. It wasn't just rocky for Carson Hocevar on track. Off track, Carson drew criticism for comments he made about Mexico City during a recent Twitch live stream.
This whole experience, if the travel was better, if you felt safer getting to and from everywhere, if it wasn't such a hole and it wasn't feel so locked down like you can't leave anywhere, it would be a great experience.
Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and Carson's initial impression of Mexico City was shared by some in the NASCAR industry this weekend. But this clip shows that Carson still has some maturing, some growing up to do. He's only 22 years old. That sounds young, but he's an adult, and he's representing multi-million-dollar corporate sponsors, an organization with dozens, if not hundreds of employees on the world stage. There are higher expectations. And this is just my opinion. The whole point of NASCAR going to Mexico City was to try and endear themselves to a new market, a new city, a new demographic. It's not a great idea for a Cup Series driver then to publicly disparage said new city, new market, publicly. Those comments were dumb from Carson, demonstrated a lack of self-awareness, but to Carson's credit, later in the weekend, he issued an apology on social media. When I answered that question on a stream, I was skeptical about the trip so far and believed everything I read or heard about Mexico City from people who more than likely also had never been there. Now that I've actually left my hotel a couple times and raced here in front of some of the most passionate fans I've ever seen, my opinion has changed. I'm embarrassed by my comments, by the race I ran, and I may have to move here to ride out from Ricky anyway. I'll give Carson credit for not writing a generic corporate PR statement, but he continued, "Count this as another lesson for me in a season I've learned so much. Don't believe everything you hear without seeing it yourself. If anyone should give anyone or any place the benefit of the doubt, it's me. I'm sorry, Mexico City. Consider me an ally going forward, an example of getting off Twitch and seeing things with my own two eyes." Yeah, I mean, as public apologies go, that one sounded about as genuine, as in character as any written apology I've ever heard. Apparently, though, that wasn't good enough for Spire Motorsports. Last night, Spire slapped Carson Hocevar with a $50,000 fine. That money, they say, will be donated to 3 organizations that serve Mexican communities. They're also mandating that Hocevar take sensitivity training. Spire's statement talks about their core value of respect. Hocevar's recent comments made during the livestream fell short of that standard. They did not represent the views of Spire Motorsports, our partners, or NASCAR. He has acknowledged his mistake publicly, and his prompt, sincere apology demonstrated personal accountability. We now take this additional step to underscore that words carry weight and respect must be lived out loud. So my takeaway, again, is that everyone is entitled to their own opinion. That's the great thing about being American. Freedom of speech. But that still doesn't mean you can just say anything anywhere and not face some sort of repercussions. Like Carson Hocevar was never going to be thrown in jail for what he said about Mexico City, but he represents in that moment multi-million-dollar corporate sponsors that he wears on his chest every single day, every single week. He's representing a massive organization, Inspire Motorsports. He is an employee. All of these people are depending on him to carry himself with dignity. Again, I know he's only 22 years old, but he's a NASCAR Cup Series driver. Not to go all Uncle Ben on you, but with that great power comes great responsibility. He has a responsibility to his partners, to his race team, to carry himself a certain way. And making those comments when the whole point of being in Mexico City was to try and make Mexico City like you was dumb. A $50,000 fine, I'll admit, I think is a bit steep. To me, Spire taking all these steps and going so public with it almost feels like they're trying to send Carson a statement that, hey, we like you, you're fast, but we're in charge. You know, Spire co-owner Jeff Dickerson a couple weeks ago did like a media tour, it felt like, defending Hocevar and his aggressive racing, his style, his somewhat polarizing personality. He defended him for the most part, only for Carson to do this 2 weeks later. I think this is Spire kind of putting their foot down, you know, putting their kid in timeout, so to speak, grounding him, I suppose, just sort of reminding Carson that, hey, you're great, but we are in charge. We expect you to do things a certain way. We'll give you a long leash. You've got your own personality, your style. You do these Twitch live streams. You engage with on social media. You go out. You have fun. You got the Dale truck. There's so much that we allow you to do, but on certain things, we need to rein you in because this is our business, our team. We're the boss. This feels kind of like Spire Motorsports putting their foot down in some respects. The fine, I think, is a little egregious, but that's the message it's trying to send. I thought Carson's apology Sunday night that I read you was genuine, was good. The fine, with money going towards, sounds like worthy causes, okay. I said this about Kyle Larson in 2020. I said it about Noah Gragson in 2023. And I'll say it now about Carson Hocevar in the big 2025. While each of those situations was different in a lot of ways, they all underscored the responsibility you have when you wear that NASCAR Cup Series patch on your fire suit every single week. Carson released another statement last night after the Spire Motorsports fine had been announced. I'm not going to read this whole statement, but essentially Carson was pushing back against some of the fans who were like rushing to defend him. Oh, you shouldn't have been fined. You didn't do anything wrong. He says in this statement that no, what I said was wrong, indicates that the punishment fit the crime, that he sees this as a learning opportunity, so on and so on. Again, I'll give Carson some credit for not shying away. I mean, that first apology I read for y'all was, kind of before this had gone viral. Like, Spire hadn't put any statements out. NASCAR hadn't said anything. A few tweets and maybe some international outlets had picked up his Twitch comments, but like, hadn't really blown up into a huge mainstream thing. Carson got ahead of it and issued that first apology. And now when some of his fans are saying, hey, you shouldn't have been punished, he's supporting his team once again and saying, no, guys, like, I messed up. He's taking accountability now, not once, but twice. 3 times if you include the actual fine he's going to pay. So I'll give Carson credit for that, for not crafting a boring, generic, ChatGPT produced PR statement. Instead, being honest, being open, being understanding in his own words. I like that because it indicates that while, yes, Carson messed up and he needs to have more self-awareness about what he says when he's doing these media, doing these streams, doing whatever, this indicates that he's not going to shy away from the cameras, that he's going to continue to stream. He's going to continue to engage directly with the fan base in a way that few other drivers do. And that's my final takeaway from this. He messed up, understandable. I've been on the internet posting content now for 14 years. I've said things before that after the fact I wish I could have worded or phrased differently. It happens to everyone. It obviously hasn't stopped me from continuing to post videos, and it doesn't sound like it's going to stop Carson from being himself in the media. Just got to have a little more self-awareness. You need to understand how words will be interpreted, need to understand who and what you represent. I think Carson will figure that out. So that's it. It sounds like this story is over and done with. On to Pocono. Leave your thoughts down in the comments section below on San Diego, Carson Hocevar, the latest news, the latest controversies. That's all from me. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more NASCAR content every single day. We talk news, rumors, controversies, race recaps, and much, much more. Really appreciate your generous support. I'll be out of town for a couple of days, so if there are any major news stories, you'll have to wait a bit for my breakdown. I do have an episode planned for tomorrow that's playoff related, so you will see that. I won't be completely silent the rest of this week, but I appreciate your understanding. I appreciate you watching this video, and I will see you again very, very soon. Have a great rest of your Wednesday night, y'all.